Why over 50 is the perfect age to start a YouTube channel? What if I told you that turning 50 isn't the end of your creative journey, but actually the perfect beginning? What if I told you that while everyone else is obsessing over 20-something influencers, the real opportunity lies with creators who have lived, learned, and have something genuinely valuable to share? Today, I'm going to completely flip your perspective on age and YouTube success. By the end of this video, you'll understand why being over 50 gives you unfair advantages that younger creators can only dream of having. And if you're over 50 and have been hesitating to start your channel, this might just be the push you need to finally hit that record button. But first, let me share something that might shock you. The fastest growing demographic on YouTube isn't teenagers or 20-somethings. It's people over 55. That's right, your generation is not just watching YouTube, they're dominating it. And there's a very specific reason why this is happening right now. The authenticity revolution. We're living through what I call the authenticity revolution. After years of perfectly curated Instagram feeds and scripted TikTok dances, audiences are craving something real. They're tired of the same recycled content from creators who've barely lived long enough to have genuine wisdom to share. This is where you come in. When you're over 50, you don't need to pretend to have life figured out because you actually do have it figured out, at least more than most. You've survived decades of ups and downs, career changes, relationship challenges, financial struggles, and personal growth. That's not just life experience, that's content gold. Think about it this way. When a 25-year-old talks about overcoming adversity, they might be talking about their college breakup or their first job rejection. When you talk about overcoming adversity, you're talking about real challenges that required real solutions. You're talking about raising children through difficult times, navigating career pivots, dealing with loss, building and rebuilding relationships, and finding meaning in different phases of life. Your stories have weight because they've been tested by time. Your advice has credibility because it's been proven in the real world. And your perspective has depth because it's been shaped by decades of actual living. But here's what's even more powerful. You're not trying to be someone you're not. You're not putting on an act or following trends that don't align with who you are. You're simply being yourself. And that authenticity is magnetic in a world full of artificial content. The wisdom advantage. Let's talk about something that younger creators simply cannot compete with: wisdom. I'm not talking about intelligence or creativity, both of which can exist at any age. I'm talking about wisdom, which only comes from living through multiple cycles of life, making mistakes, learning from them, and applying those lessons over time. When you create content in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, you're not just sharing information, you're sharing wisdom. You're not just teaching skills, you're teaching judgment. You're not just entertaining, you're providing perspective that can only come from someone who has seen how things actually play out over the long term. This wisdom manifests in countless ways in your content. You know which trends are worth following and which ones will fade away because you've seen this pattern repeat itself dozens of times. You understand the difference between what seems important and what actually is important because you've had time to see the results of both approaches. You can speak to the long-term consequences of decisions because you've lived through them. You can offer hope during difficult times because you've survived your own difficult times and come out stronger. You can provide context that helps people understand not just what to do, but why it matters and how it fits into the bigger picture of life. This wisdom also gives you incredible storytelling ability. Your stories aren't just entertaining, they're instructive. They don't just capture attention, they provide value that viewers can apply to their own lives. And because your stories are real and tested by time, they resonate in ways that hypothetical scenarios or borrowed experiences simply cannot. The time and freedom factor. Here's an advantage that might surprise you: time and freedom. While younger creators are often juggling multiple responsibilities, trying to build careers, raise young children, or figure out their basic life direction, many people over 50 have reached a stage where they have more control over their time and energy. Maybe your children are grown and independent. Maybe you've reached a point in your career where you have more flexibility. Maybe you've retired or are approaching retirement and looking for a new creative outlet. Maybe you've finally reached a financial position where you can take some risks and try something new. This freedom is incredibly valuable for content creation. You can be more consistent because you're not constantly pulled in different directions. You can be more thoughtful because you're not rushing between obligations. You can be more experimental because you're not dependent on immediate results to pay your bills. You also have the luxury of playing the long game. While younger creators often feel pressure to go viral quickly or monetize immediately, you can focus on building something sustainable and meaningful. You can prioritize quality over quantity. You can develop your unique voice without worrying about following every trend or algorithm change. This patience and long-term thinking often leads to better content and more sustainable growth. You're not chasing quick wins. You're building something that will last, and audiences can sense this difference in approach. The underserved audience. Now let's talk about something that should get you really excited: the massive underserved audience of people your age and older. While most YouTube content is created by and for younger demographics, there's an enormous audience of mature viewers who are hungry for content that speaks to their experiences, interests, and stage of life. Think about your peers. They're on YouTube, they're watching content, but how much of what they find really resonates with their lives? How many creators are talking about the challenges and opportunities of being over 50? How many are addressing the unique perspectives and needs of mature adults? This represents an incredible opportunity. When you create content as someone over 50, you're not just competing with millions of other creators for the attention of young viewers. You're potentially becoming one of the few creators who truly understands and serves an audience that's been largely ignored by the platform. This audience is also incredibly valuable. They have disposable income, they make purchasing decisions for households, they have influence in their communities, and they're often looking for products, services, and information that can improve their lives. Brands are starting to recognize this, which means monetization opportunities for creators who can authentically connect with mature audiences. But beyond the business potential, there's something deeply satisfying about creating content for people who truly get you. When you share your experiences and perspectives with peers who have lived through similar things, the connection is immediate and genuine. The comments aren't just engagement metrics, they're real conversations with people who understand your references, appreciate your insights, and value your perspective. The technology myth. Let me address the elephant in the room: the belief that being over 50 means you can't handle the technology side of YouTube. This is not just wrong, it's insulting to your intelligence and adaptability. Yes, you might not have grown up with smartphones and social media, but you've adapted to countless technological changes throughout your life. You've learned new systems at work, figured out new devices at home, and navigated the transition from analog to digital in virtually every aspect of life. Learning YouTube's tools and best practices is no different from learning any other new skill, and you have decades of experience learning new skills. In fact, your approach to learning might actually be more effective than younger creators who expect everything to be intuitive immediately. You're more likely to take the time to properly understand how things work rather than just winging it. You're more likely to seek out quality educational resources rather than just copying what you see others doing. You're more likely to develop systematic approaches rather than relying on trial and error. And here's the thing about YouTube technology: it's designed to be user-friendly. The platform wants creators to succeed, so they've made the tools as accessible as possible. Basic video editing software is more intuitive than ever. Smartphones can shoot professional quality video, and there are countless tutorials and resources available to help you learn whatever you need to know. The technology barrier is largely psychological, not practical. Once you start creating, you'll quickly realize that the technical aspects are much less intimidating than they seemed from the outside. The confidence factor. There's something powerful that happens when you've lived for 5 or more decades. You stop caring as much about what other people think. This might be the single greatest advantage you have as an over 50 creator. Younger creators often struggle with imposter syndrome, worry constantly about criticism, and change their content based on every negative comment. They're still figuring out who they are and what they stand for, so they're easily swayed by outside opinions. But when you're over 50, you know who you are. You've developed confidence in your opinions, your values, and your worth. You've learned that you can't please everyone, and you've made peace with that reality. This confidence translates directly into better content. You're more likely to share your authentic opinions rather than saying what you think people want to hear. You're more likely to stick with your content strategy rather than chasing every trend. You're more likely to engage genuinely with your audience rather than trying to manufacture a persona. This confidence also makes you more resilient to the inevitable challenges of content creation. Negative comments don't devastate you because you've dealt with criticism before and know it's not a reflection of your worth. Algorithm changes don't panic you because you understand that external factors are often beyond your control. Your confidence becomes contagious. Viewers are drawn to creators who are comfortable in their own skin, who speak with authority born from experience, and who aren't constantly seeking validation. This magnetic quality of authentic confidence is something that simply cannot be faked or taught. The network effect. By the time you reach 50, you've built an incredible network of relationships, experiences, and connections. This network becomes a massive advantage when you start creating content. You have friends and colleagues with interesting stories to share. You have professional connections who can provide expert insights. You have family members who represent different perspectives and generations. You have access to locations, events, and experiences that younger creators might not. This network also provides built-in promotion for your content. When you start a channel, you're not starting from 0 followers. You have decades of relationships with people who know you, trust you, and are likely to support your new venture. Your initial audience might come from your existing network, but they'll help you grow beyond that foundation. Your network also provides credibility. When you interview someone or collaborate with another creator, your existing relationships and reputation precede you. People are more likely to say yes to opportunities when they know you're serious, professional, and have a track record of following through on commitments. The storytelling mastery. Here's something that younger creators often struggle with: storytelling. They might be great at editing or understanding trends, but they haven't lived long enough to develop the deep storytelling skills that come from decades of sharing experiences with others. When you're over 50, you've been telling stories for decades. You've refined your ability to capture attention, build tension, deliver punchlines, and create emotional connections through narrative. You've learned which details matter and which ones don't. You've developed timing and pacing through years of conversation and presentation. These storytelling skills translate perfectly to YouTube content. Whether you're sharing personal experiences, teaching lessons, or entertaining your audience, your ability to craft compelling narratives gives you a significant advantage over creators who are still learning these fundamental communication skills. Your stories also have more variety and depth. You've lived through different eras, experienced major historical events, witnessed technological revolutions, and navigated multiple life phases. This gives you a rich library of content that spans decades of human experience. The monetization advantage. Let's talk about something practical: making money from your YouTube channel. While younger creators often struggle to monetize their content effectively, creators over 50 have several built-in advantages. First, you likely have more credibility when it comes to product recommendations or sponsored content. Your audience trusts that you've actually used and evaluated products rather than just promoting whatever pays the most. Your recommendations carry weight because they're backed by experience and judgment. Second, you're more likely to have expertise in areas that command premium pricing. Whether it's professional skills, life experience, or specialized knowledge, you can create content that justifies higher value monetization strategies like courses, consulting, or premium memberships. Third, you understand business fundamentals in ways that younger creators might not. You know how to negotiate, how to evaluate opportunities, and how to build sustainable revenue streams. You're less likely to make costly mistakes or get taken advantage of by unscrupulous partners. Finally, you have the patience to build monetization gradually rather than rushing into strategies that might compromise your content quality or audience trust. This long-term approach often leads to more stable and substantial income over time. The legacy perspective. There's something uniquely powerful about creating content when you're thinking about legacy. While younger creators are often focused on immediate success or personal branding, creators over 50 often have a deeper sense of purpose about what they want to leave behind. This legacy perspective infuses your content with meaning that goes beyond entertainment or information. You're not just creating videos, you're documenting wisdom, preserving stories, and sharing insights that might otherwise be lost. You're contributing to the collective knowledge and experience of humanity. This sense of purpose resonates with audiences. They can sense when content comes from a place of genuine desire to help, teach, or inspire, rather than just a desire for views or money. This authenticity creates deeper connections and more loyal followings. Your legacy perspective also gives you permission to tackle bigger, more meaningful topics. You're not afraid to address serious subjects or share vulnerable experiences because you understand the value of authentic human connection and the importance of helping others learn from your journey. The time is now. Here's the truth that I want you to really understand. There has never been a better time to start a YouTube channel as someone over 50. The platform is mature enough to have sophisticated tools and established best practices, but it's still young enough that there's enormous opportunity for new creators who bring unique perspectives. The audience is there, waiting for content that speaks to their experiences and needs. The technology is accessible and user-friendly. The monetization opportunities are robust and growing. And most importantly, you have everything you need to succeed: wisdom, authenticity, confidence, and stories worth sharing. But here's what you need to understand about timing. It's not going to get easier. Every day you wait is another day that someone else might fill the space you could occupy. Every month you hesitate is another month of potential growth and impact that you're missing. The perfect time to start was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now, today, this moment. Not when you feel completely ready, not when you have all the equipment, not when you've watched every tutorial. Now, with whatever you have, wherever you are, your age isn't a disadvantage to overcome, it's an advantage to leverage. Your experience isn't something to downplay, it's something to celebrate. Your perspective isn't outdated, it's exactly what the world needs more of. So here's my challenge to you. Stop thinking about starting a YouTube channel and start doing it. Pick up your phone, hit record, and share something that matters to you. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. It doesn't have to go viral, it just has to be valuable. The world needs your voice, your wisdom, and your perspective. YouTube needs creators who bring depth, authenticity, and genuine value to the platform. And you need the creative fulfillment, community connection, and potential income that comes from sharing your gifts with the world. Your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond aren't the closing chapters of your story. They're the beginning of your most impactful, most authentic, and most rewarding creative period. The question isn't whether you're too old to start a YouTube channel. The question is, what are you waiting for? The camera is ready, the audience is waiting, your time is now. Let's make it happen.